Just puppy rolling.
Bring her to order, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. Welcome. Has everybody had a chance to review the agenda? Has anybody got any conflicts of interest with the agenda? I believe I do. Madam Auditor, could you please read us the minutes of the last meeting?
August 1st, 2023, the Board of Supervisors met at 9 a.m. with Ty Rosberg, Chairman, presiding. Members present were Dozark, Rosberg, Mulbauer, and Hayden. Member absent was Schultz. Minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. A motion was made by Hayden, seconded by Mulbauer, to approve the following resolution. 2023-28, policy for purchase of right-of-way by Crawford County. Let's see, voting aye. Dozark, Rosberg, Mulbauer, and Hayden. Motion passed unanimously. Motion was made by Mulbauer, seconded by Dozark, to approve the following resolution. 2023-29. Let's see. It doesn't have a title. It's weird. Whereas the Board of Supervisors recognizes the need to incorporate safe features in pavement resurfacing projects. Whereas Transportation Safety Improvement Program funds are annually made available to qualify local projects in the amounts not to exceed $500,000 to facilitate the incorporation of said safety features. Voting aye. Dozark, Rosberg, Mulbauer, and Hayden. Motion passed unanimously. Taya Banami, Director, Recovery Center, followed up with the board about her opioid funding request and updated the board with some additional research on prevention and local outreach. A motion was made by Hayden, seconded by, motion was made by Hayden. Action failed for lack of a second for a $20,000 and $10,000 for 3 years funding request. Motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden, to approve the remainder of the opioid fund. Approved should be maybe say payment of the remainder of the, we'll figure that out. I think a little language thing. So remainder of the opioid fund, 50% of future fund for 10 years through 2033. Probably through. Yeah. To the Recovery Center, Manning Regional Healthcare Center. Voting aye. Hayden, Dozark, and Rosberg. Abstaining, Mulbauer. Motion passed. Motion was made by Hayden, seconded by Mulbauer, to approve the repair and replacement of AC units due to hail damage by Carroll Control. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Hayden, seconded by Dozark, to approve the appointment of William Ranninger to the Compensation Board due to the resignation of Dean Argetzinger. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Dozark, seconded by Hayden, to approve closing the Board of Supervisors checking account due to no activity and moving the funds to the general fund. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Mulbauer, seconded by Dozark, to approve the treasurer's semi-annual report January 1 of 23 through June 30th of 23. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Hayden, seconded by Dozark, to approve the amended 2023 Disabled Veterans Homestead and Military Tax Credit applications. Motion passed unanimously. A motion was made by Mulbauer, seconded by Dozark, to approve the following resolution. 2023-30, resolution certifying taxes payable to 2023 and 2024. Voting aye. Dozark, Rosberg, Mulbauer, and Hayden. Motion passed unanimously. The board discussed a retirement payout of the assessor's office employee. No action was taken at this time. On motion, duly seconded, the board adjourned at 11:39 a.m. Agendas for the next meeting are posted and available at the courthouse on Friday at 4:30 p.m. preceding the next meeting.
Yeah, the opioid thing would be through,
through,
because we wanted to give her confidence that she was supported so she could hire people to take care of the folks.
right, right.
All right, ma'am, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Is there any, I guess there was no corrections to the minutes? So I already signed it, I guess we're good. Supervisor's report. Al, you got a stack of papers there or you?
Well, I did, thinking back 2 weeks ago, did the well pump went out at Nelson's Park like Saturday or Sunday.
This past Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're getting that hopefully fixed today, but they were able to haul water and fill the reserve tank Sunday to keep everything going.
Okay.
Where they haul the water from? No, I don't. I guess I just assumed it came out of Yellow City or something.
I've never, how big is their reserve tank out?
1,200 gallon.
And there's
I
not
think
a
they
lot
just
of
kind of
people.
use that as a, like a surge tank for their big demand. Really the stress of pump, I think, well pump, but I think they just need a new well pump put in, so.
Where are we on the wells with water and?
We're in the just leave it alone mode.
Did we decide anything about the improvements that we had talked about a couple of weeks ago? Or are they gonna go forward with any of them?
Well, I guess there was a miscommunication. I did check on that and I said, what's the situation? He said, I thought the board told me to let it rest. I said, I thought we said we were gonna get the electric done. So
That's been my understanding.
we think we just need to bring that back up and get that electrical part going again.
Your board?
The conservation board would be, yeah, yep.
All right, because people that use it were wondering, you know, they were under the impression that that was gonna kind of get the improvements done. And because it, even if the water is a problem, people still enjoy camping out there and if
Yep.
we had the money, so, all right.
Yep.
Thank
I
you.
just, trying to be frugal and look at, just want to make sure that everything,
Absolutely. Make all those
no one took a
improvements
bunch of money into it.
and you can't use it. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But I still think people will use it as kind of a, well, it's not really a wilderness camp if you're taking your big camper that needs to be plugged into a high voltage, but it's glamping.
No, not everything, yeah, you're right. Right, and then I did have, before we left, I had a solid waste agency commission meeting and elected officers, and lo and behold, they stayed the same as they were last year, the year before that. Solid
You're doing a
waste.
good job.
So I was reelected chairman of that board, so
You must be doing a good job.
must be, yep. The biggest discussion item out of that was, there was a lot of housekeeping with year-end reports and stuff, but, they're starting a battery collection program for like your double A's and your triple A's. So you see little green buckets sitting around town and like the banks and stuff for lithium ion relays the ones, because they can't start a fire.
Yep.
So they're gonna try to curb them out of the landfill and start having collection units.
Is there anything you can do with it as far as recycling?
I think they will get into the recycling stream if, they're, so. Like getting them out of the garbage, gets them in the recycling stream.
Is that metal in them reusable?
I don't know all that part, but I'm sure, sounds like they're starting to find resources to dispose of them in their lakes now, so.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yep. If there's a buck to be made, somebody's gonna figure out a way to make it.
Certainly.
And then just the tree disposal in general, with all the ash trees that are coming down and,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Basically stems from Denison not having a burn, their own private burn pile, so they're got an agreement with them to work through with the city of
Has
Denison.
Dennis never had their own brush
They got
tree
just their
pile?
tree collection
They've got a tree
facility.
collection, but they have a limit. I think it's 6 inches.
And the limit, out there is still only 8 inches, so.
Oh, yeah, so, but they're taking down trucks.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
The good news about that is I thought that there was supposed to be some contact people out there that the people that had, like, let's just take some single lady that doesn't have a pickup and anybody to really help. That there are people that use that wood for different projects and that they would be willing to come get it, just to help out. Is that true or not?
I think they do have a list out there of people that are looking for wood.
Yeah,
But the problem with our emerald ash borer is if you do not burn the wood, the bug just moves out of that dead log and moves into another tree, so. They're, really trying to stop it. But
okay,
you never will, I don't think you can stop it, you need to burn all the wood, so.
yeah.
But no, they do have a list that names people can call and get rid of the bigger stuff, but.
Yeah, cause that.
And I think Hipner's been doing a good job of helping out with that and I'm sure I just know Hipner's,
Yeah.
got a pretty good pile of wood out by his place, so.
Could he burn it out there? Could we, kind of set something temporarily up? Cause that's, in city limits, so it wouldn't be up to us.
I wouldn't be,
Be nice to just have a location where people can take it to make sure it's, if you leave it laying around on your place and you got some beautiful trees, eventually it's just gonna crawl out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a problem that we have as a community and we need to work through it because it's
That's
nobody's
kind of
fault really that,
as the landfill or solid waste shit's kind of a city of Denison's issue, so, but what agreement we have, they are supplying equipment and manpower to keep the pile cleaned up and burnt, so.
That's good.
And if any other community wanted to come, we would say, yeah, if you want to supply some equipment and manpower, we'd probably make some arrangements.
I think Schleswig has a place.
Every community, I think,
The city has a
does,
place.
that
Manila.
Manila, I think they all got a place to burn and
Oh, maybe Kenneally.
so. Denison just has that down there, but, it usually works fine, but there's just,
With all these ash trees.
with all these ash trees dying, that's just unfortunately, it's more of a chronic, not so much acute problem, such as a storm went through.
Yeah.
You pile all the trees at one time, burn them, gone. This is gonna be continuing on for years.
For years.
Yeah, I
And
noticed a
unfortunately, it's
bunch of-
not the kind of wood that most woodworkers want to use and it's not.
It's good firewood though.
Yeah, it is, it is. So,
I did notice, like, when I was out at the golf course last week, and there's just that, you just look through the tree line and there's just oodles of them.
I noticed that camp and yellow smoke. I remember when them trees, you could jump over them. They first opened and now they're providing the shade, now they're all dying.
Yeah,
yeah,
There's a lot of ash trees that are planted probably because of the
fast growing.
Dutch elm disease that went through in the
Yeah.
60s and 70s. So they're trying to be smart and proactive and put a tree that'll last the test of time.
Mother Nature will always remind us that we aren't the smartest ones here.
it's a shame because, if you look at my tree line around my place, I'm losing.
Good point.
Other than that pretty much wraps up everything I had.
So Kyle, did you say that the city of Denison is trying to find an additional place?
When I talked to, one of the council members, they were trying to establish a place they could set up a burn pile, but I don't know if that's continued on or what.
I haven't really heard much more about it either.
You gotta get permission from the DNR to do it.
Cause I mean, there was an article in the paper about it and talking to some citizens, they were under the understanding, they thought the city of Denison was gonna cut their trees down and take them away. And
I think they're cutting the ones down that are in the right of way,
In the right
and
away.
they're being pretty aggressive about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they've taken down,
I thought they
There's a
said
big
they were
amount of
close
trees.
to 100 trees already, they've
Yeah.
taken
Yeah, they're
down.
taking down a lot of.
Which would
trees.
make sense.
so I think that article estimated there was what, 1,000 trees in Denison?
Oh, probably. Wouldn't
Well, I
surprise
wouldn't
me.
Let dead limbs come first.
I think the
They can
course
get-
estimates 50 to 60, like how I said, I think the course estimates 50 to 60 trees
Mhm.
that they need to cut down, and what do we do with them? Where do we go?
where'd our trees go that we took down?
And he disposed of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wherever he took them.
Probably his
That was
place.
part of the quote.
Yep.
And he's gotten the stumps ground out now too.
I seen that, but
I seen them filling some
Good.
back in. They must have been filling the holes in a little
With
bit.
dirt and
Yeah,
he seeded them with grass or.
I
he
kind
did
of
them
miss
with
them.
grass seed.
yeah.
Yeah.
so I guess as a board, we probably need to think what we're gonna replace them trees.
Hmm,
a nice.
don't get in a hurry. I kinda like it.
You like me to see?
It's nice to see the
It's
courthouse.
nice to see the courthouse.
Yeah, it is.
When you drive up, you can see the building.
If you've lived on a farm that had no trees and you've been there almost 20 years and you're just starting to realize how valuable shade is, it's just.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, Barry, you built your new house out where Bear
Open
opened there.
cornfield, no.
I was hill in town.
Yeah. The only place there's green grass at one place in the shade.
Yeah. Good.
No, that's about it. So everything as far as with the city of Denison, and then we're working on starting to program on, we're starting to get so much of it due to be the disposal, the throwaway environment we are in with TVs and stuff that are
Yeah.
going through the landfill and start charging for TVs.
So you get a lot of that then, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
We took,
when you go buy a 77-inch TV at Walmart for $300, you're not gonna expect it to last
no,
till you have your mom and dad have a household sale and somebody wants to buy it. Like years ago,
Yeah.
a 25-year-old TV still had value to it. Now they just throw them out
They're
and buy another
disposable.
$300 TV.
you
That's a
get what you
great
pay
point.
for. We took one out, we were surprised that, we could just take it out there, we're
Yeah.
like, really?
So laptops, all that, it's just gonna probably start charging for that.
I thought I'd seen a special on like the Smithsonian where they actually,
Or we're going.
people that went through them because they got the parts out of there. There was a lot of
Yeah.
gold and silver
It's not a
inside
lot
of computers and
If you
TV.
take them out to the
22
Good
cents a pound
Samaritan,
or
they have a
35
guy
cents a
from,
pound. It ain't gonna add up to much.
Deloitte that comes and picks them up, and there's things that we can take out of them. So,
Just general garbage,
What's that rate?
50, it's 55, or they go to 60 1st of July.
I don't remember.
A ton.
Yeah,
how they're, if you take the TVs out to the Good Samaritan, they have a list of there's a guy from Deloitte that comes and gets them,
Mhm.
and there's things he can take
Breaks
out of them
apart,
to
yeah.
use, so.
yeah, this fees, it's what we would be charged for a
If you
gentleman
take-
like him to come pick that up.
Okay.
So it's not a money-making deal, it's just a pass-through to.
So you don't have the expense.
Right,
Okay.
and then this gentleman will come and recycle them however,
Yeah.
or company or whatever, that they're the ones that work with Carroll County and Shelby County.
Say about it, Good Samaritan, they do that same thing, all in there, that way they don't have to pay in there.
Sure. But maybe if they got a guy from Deloitte that does, that's fine, as long as they're getting recycled and out of the waste stream.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Mr. Dozar.
I don't have anything. Got a couple meetings next week, so.
Already, sir. Lowbauer.
Hey, over the weekend, attended the Stables for Jet fundraiser, the first annual golf tournament. Very, very good turnout. They had 36 teams. One team did not show, so they had 35. Very, very good attendance.
Great.
The auction went very well. It's getting them very close to the price point that they need to get construction started. So they're knocking on the door of
Good deal.
breaking some dirt, which they haven't done some on their own, but, so just community supported it very well and on a good path.
Good deal.
Also, I've got Region 12 this week. Rick Hunsaker called me that he was traveling and I happened to be on a horse sorting cattle, so we talked briefly. But he may be coming over to our board meeting to explain, a situation we're in with one of our funding streams that are a match fund, and I didn't get we didn't get into weeds about it. We'll talk about it Thursday when I have the meeting, but long story short, part of the funding he has, federal funding, for some reason Carroll and Crawford don't quite apply, or can't apply. That's why he's gonna come over to explain it better, the reasoning. He's got a few different ideas to try to make it fair for Carroll and Crawford because we're part of the match funds. Don't want to lose out on I think it's $1 million, but you don't want to lose out on it, but he also says, it's not fair for you guys to contribute without being able to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
But we are a region. So he's trying to explore some options so that it salvages our input costs or our matching funds, so we're not left out either. And it just some things that we're gonna have to go over and just discuss and see which we're comfortable with doing and what direction to go. And then Region 12, of course, like I said, we got that on Thursday. We do have our first application for the meat and poultry loan fund.
Okay.
Not to let the cat out of the bag too much, as Coolman would say, wish he was here earlier, but we will go over those details. I got a packet about that thick of information on the business and where it's at, and I go over that with the board, and hopefully it meets all of our criteria and checks all the boxes off, so we can get those funds out there and started to be used.
Will you be partnering with, is he got bank financing and then we're just coming in and on the end or working as a down payment for him, or how, I mean, I always.
If this dollar amount, they have to come up with some.
Okay, they do,
collateral.
okay.
That's all. It actually goes through a board before it even comes to our board of
Yep.
directors. And, yep, and we will step through all that on Thursday of recommendation.
Oh,
Somebody hit
did you
it.
forget to pay the bill?
It was a whole building.
When I sat on the board though, they told me I had to change my hat around and not think like a banker. We couldn't think about the repayment of it. We had to think of the economic impact of it, you know? I mean, so it was,
Higher risk.
Yeah, ready to kick on?
yeah, because if it was
Should've
not,
checked on
the
that.
bank would have done it. And so
Right.
there's kind of, so that was an awkward
back.
place to be. I
I've
think
seen
the
someone
opposite
out
from
here
your
on the
background.
ladder. I don't know if they,
But hopefully, I mean, we can get
hopefully they're still on the ladder.
get them out, and getting that money working.
wasn't turning my hat around, I had to wear a completely different one. I didn't just turn it around, so, but I did understand our purpose.
Yep, otherwise, that's about all I got. Couple weeks, we'll have ice out.
Yeah. I got all my stuff straight for that.
Oh, you did? Where
Across the way.
Moved.
at? Where did you stay last time?
Okay, Ms. Hayden.
I continued to work on the RFP for the concrete. I know you can imagine it takes that long for somebody to do that. But what I'm kind of working on is, you know, the city had talked about vacating that alleyway, and I hadn't heard back from them yet. And I always think people will call me when they find the answer. I hate to be always calling. So I did talk to Paul Boston yesterday, and he kind of recommends that we just go ahead and figure that in the bid, because eventually the city will probably vacate it to us. It just doesn't make any sense for us to just go to the middle of the alley line and then have a mud hole over here. He just recommends that we kind of just do that all as one project and be done with it. Just go up to Jason's boundary line there. So he's gonna kind of help me tweak it up a little bit, kind of make it look a little bit more professional. I made a stab at it, but I'm gonna keep my day job. But working on it. Still waiting for Jay to kind of tell me if he's gonna need that conduit underneath it or what we're doing, excuse me. Haven't talked enough yet today. Imagine that. So,
I would suggest conduit under the concrete.
okay,
Don't believe it as an option.
just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
That way
Okay.
you can pull new wires, and
Yep.
update stuff in.
Okay.
Make sure it's big enough too right away.
How big do you recommend, sir?
I would say at least 5 or 6 inch probably. That'd be my suggestion, but
Yeah, you don't know what
Just
you'll
not
need
knowing
for.
what you might want to pull through.
Who knows
Like
what the
build a
future's
machine
gonna
shed
bring.
and 10 years later, oh, I should have
Yeah.
built it bigger.
All right.
It'll never
Does
be.
does it usually last 10 years before you say that?
So Paul wasn't gonna be in today, so I brought it all with me to work on, but hopefully I can get it to the Public Health Board for their approval, get it, and Terry did say it was gonna be okay for them to drop the sealed bids off with her. Just kind of have a little interest on it.
When is your next public health meeting?
It's gonna probably, we struggle. We never have it exactly the same day because of how busy the requirements of having a physician and a pharmacist. So it'll be in that third week here in August, so So we have no problem calling a special one if we need one at this point in time. We kind of agreed we're doing more communicating with emails and phone calls, trying to stay. Marcy has called me just to see if I need any help, which I really appreciate. She's keeping it going, so I really feel good about all that. I did have a thought, and I got a call into Taya to see if there's a way, I need to have Jake tell me where he wants his office to be down there and how that's gonna work. We need to kind of get off that mark. I'm gonna go talk to him when we get done here, but if there would be room down there for Jackson Recovery to even have something, you know, in that big conference room that we have. Yeah, instead of paying $850 to
MRHC.
them.
Right.
Not Jackson anymore.
Yeah, well, excuse me,
Well, yeah, it'll be the new.
but still Taya would be my contact person to
Do you have my
see.
number?
I do, I've left her a message, but I realize how
That's a
busy
good
she
thing.
is.
Thank you.
Cause rather than paying them $850, I would just as soon see if I could facilitate something and use that basement more full time. I really do believe that with, mental health and, the, DHS and Jackson Recovery, I think that basement should be big enough to facilitate those three entities, cause I was just gonna kind of talk to her to see if, maybe walk her through it, see if there's anything that while we're designing, that would be more to her benefit to multi-use that area. So I'm hoping to hear back from her today. I just kind of had that idea yesterday, so it wasn't like I've had it for the whole week.
It'll just be them organizing that conference room.
Yeah.
Unless there's a way to put a movable divider, so it could be two separate conference room
Correct.
spaces kind of
Because of the
situation.
confidentiality of that,
Right,
this would be the time if in that corner we decided we wanted that to be more of an office or slash area. I just as soon have my drywallers put an area up in there and be able to
Exactly.
use that for a space.
We had talked about that when we did our walkthrough, having them movable walls.
We did.
We
Yeah.
opened it up vertical.
yeah,
Then we talked about that again when both Doug and Marcy and I had gone through that just made sense to them. But if it would be better that we, partition that out with actually a wall because of the confidentiality that one would have, we might as well do it now. So I'm hoping to get her through there to see if down the road, I wanna see how long her contract would be with that, and if it's a week, month by month, and see if we could get her in there.
That's a good idea.
mhm.
So,
Really good idea.
thinking of stuff like that, but otherwise, not a whole lot of, meetings, a lot of jabber about other stuff, but it'll all be on the agenda going down the road, so. That was my week, went by fast.
Okay. I can eat up a little time.
We count on
You're counting on it. Gotta look at my calendar here. I don't think I had any static meetings. I wanna forget something. Oh, no, I didn't have any static meetings other than the CDC is meeting every Wednesday at noon to get ready for Tri-City. And I will have to tell you that I was very impressed with the board and how they all jumped out and took different things that basically Shaney would have been doing over the course of the whole year that aren't done yet. And I was very impressed on the volunteerism, and they all jumped right in there. So I think that most of this stuff will be caught up and rolling by the time our new director shows up, and they can just basically hand him off these are the things to be done yet, but they're on schedule. So I think I would like to recognize one person for sure. I mean, Stephanie's doing a great job as president, but Taylor Bukowski, you know, I mean, we've all seen how well she's done with the hot summer nights, but she's also stepped up big time in the helping prep for Tri-City barbecue. So I mean, obviously this is a Denison event, but it's a big event for the whole community. I mean, the whole county shows up here, then either here or Schleswig, you know. I have put in my wish that we find a way to work with the Kansas City barbecue folks where we aren't tripping over each other anymore. And will we have success with that? I hope so. But I just wanted to bring that up. They're doing that every Wednesday. They're working on ways to make the Tri-City more advantageous for the CDC. not really digging in to make big profits, but finding ways to make profits so that it can actually help fund CDC and other things. They've had great sponsorship, which has actually helped fund it. And I said, if you're busy working at it anyway, I mean, the volunteers are happy to be there most of the time. I mean, we've got repeat volunteers that have been there since they were children, I think. So anyway, I think that they'd be happy to help try to generate income for CDC through this too. So they're working on doing some stuff like that, and that made me happy that we're working on that. I do know that one of the things that we were talking about, even when we'd interview some of these directors, was finding ways to incorporate what's become Tri-City inside the county prior to, we've talked about like over if like when Charter Oak has their achievement days or, basically gearing up, have a little barbecue cook-off there for a locals, part, basically try to create little mini barbecue things to lead up to the big one, I mean, inside the events that are already there, just to add some more flavor to everybody's events, obviously, if they want to do it, like Manila during their, the tractor pull or the Fourth of July. I mean, you guys have a great, for 4th of July and, just things like that that would kind of, I mean, West Side's actually got it to where their little tractor pulls come growing over there. And so that might be fun if they could do something like that. I think that's the week after we get back from, ISAC. That next weekend is West Side starting up also. It'd be nice to see them start incorporating that, and keep working on this one county effect that I'd like to see incorporated a little bit more. So anyway, they're working on those things. So that's what I got for.
I have one thing I forgot if we have a hard time stretch.
Okay. I think I might have a little.
Need some
Anyway, Gene, you want to do that before I start in on my?
It'll be fast.
Okay, well, we know you're fast. Go ahead.
We did meet together yesterday with the department heads and Paul from HR1 and had a big discussion, I think it was 1 hour and 15 minutes with Paul. Him laying out his plan, giving all the department heads a chance to ask questions about how that's gonna work. I did not feel we were gonna have 100% buy-in. I didn't feel that even close, and so I don't know where it's gonna go. We gave everybody a week to kind of think it over, ask questions, and we'll get back together. And if we don't have 100% buy-in, it'll be a dead horse.
Okay. Thanks for keeping that moving though.
How did Paul say his thoughts were after meeting with the department heads? I mean, he's met with many other counties, departments heads.
He pretty much said this takes everybody to buy in and, really lay it up there.
Yeah.
It'd be a disaster if not
Yeah.
everybody buys
Yeah.
in on it.
I
waste of money.
just, putting a value on a job doesn't seem like a bad thing.
Right.
And we did talk about, if everybody's not on the same page, we had an example of somebody that started and somebody else started at the same time, they've gotten more. And they're always afraid that employees are gonna jump from job to job and you just kind of want to make sure that everybody's being paid what that job is worth. And I think part of the holdback for our people is, when you go to score the jobs, whether it takes an education, whether you supervise, whether there were 9 of them, I don't think we memorized. I think so many people feel like they'll know whose job that is, and doing it internally is going to be hard. And
We're on a bigger county, it could work because it's more generic.
right.
In a small county here, it's still everybody knows everybody's. Growing up, small town, everybody knows everybody's business.
Yeah, and I think that what I really is, it just puts, if you start a job, we use the example at $20 and your increments, the most that job value would be $30. And you have to figure out ways, with responsibilities and things like that. But he really